Pre-game check here. Little U18 action happening before the Flames. We got our good angles here. All right. I will put this on mute. Make sure everything's working. And come back when it's closer to game time. All right. Hello, Flames and Rockets fans. Welcome here to the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton. Western Flames hosting the Moncton Rockets today. Warm-up is over. We're just approaching the start of the game time. These two teams only faced each other once so far this year, in a single game weekend down in Bucktouche at the Irving Center, where the Rockets had a fairly commanding 6-1 win over the Western Flames. This weekend, a home and home. So we're here at the Grant Harvey Center today hosting the Rockets, and tomorrow, I was going to say mid-morning, near noon, they will play game 2 of the second game set at the KC Irving Center in Bucktouche. And we are close to getting underway here. Lineup notes for the Rockets. We have Chloe Raw and Jasmine McGrath are not in the lineup, and Zoe Savoie, who is listed as number 14, will be wearing number 6 today. Opening face-off, kind of scrambled draw, ends up along the boards. We'll get you your starting goalies here in a moment. Puck's dumped into the Flame zone. Picked up by Feltmate. She backhands it behind the net. Daigle sends it up the left side. That one's going to go for icing. So 20 seconds in, icing call. And let's see if we can figure out who our starting goalies are. So for the Flames, we have number 31, Austin Yeomans. And I think I see number 31 for the Rockets, Claire Fournette. Can't quite read it off the arm. I think it's 31, hard to tell. If I get a different look, I'll correct myself. Puck deep into the Flame zone. Daigle's back. She's battling behind the net. Feltmate helps her. Feltmate up the right-hand side. Doesn't clear the zone. Back down low behind the net. Daniel, battling behind the net, comes up the left side for the Flames. Attempt to hold it at the line isn't successful, and it makes its way back. Rockets regroup. Here's Smith. Smith chips it into the Rocket zone. Played behind the net by Kolpitz. Here's Kolpitz. She chips it up the left-hand side. Kimball holds it into the line for the Flames. Now Clara Smith. Clara Smith tries sending it cross ice to Sommers. Puck still deep in the Rocket zone. Sent up the left-hand side. And here come the Rockets into the neutral zone. Here comes Kolpitz. She lost handle on it. Now Rogier. Up the right-hand side to Eason. Eason gets it into the neutral zone. She's going to head to the bench for a change. Rogier turned it over at the Flames blue line, coming back the other way now. Neutral zone puck here. Chipped into the zone. Was it out of play or icing? Face-off's going to be in the neutral zone, just outside the Flame zone here. Face-off by Lawrence. Lawrence has Dooland and Nelson. Here's Dooland. Dooland up the left side. Back to Dooland. Dooland tried sending it back to the point to Daigle. Didn't get there. Rockets, Richard tries throwing it in the neutral zone. Flame zone. Makes his way into the neutral zone. Rockets are going to regroup. Bourgeois grabs it. Bourgeois behind the Rocket net. Comes up to the left-hand side. Mishandles it. Backhands it up the boards. Held in by Johnstone. Here's Johnstone. Johnstone fires it from high. That one's played off to the corner. Johnstone right back on it. Battling with Richard. Feltmate chips it into the Rocket zone. Now here's Cormier. Cormier gives it off to Ward. Here's Ward. Ward looks up ice. Pass is missed. Daigle. Daigle sends it up the left-hand side. Here comes Polchis. Polchis fires it at the net. That misses wide right. 16:25 of the first period. No score here. Early in the first period of a 2-game set between the Flames and the Rockets, home and home. Here at the Grant Harvey Center today. And at the Casey Irving Center tomorrow in Bouctouche. Second meeting of the teams on the year. Rockets winning the first one, 6-1. There's Savoie. Savoie throws it into the Flame zone. Up the right-hand side to Cook. Cook tried centering into Johnstone. Johnstone takes a backhand on it. Still pinned along the wall. Johnstone's in there. Finally fished out by Boursier. Boursier rips it around the wall. Now Polchis. Polchis tries backhanding it against the wall. Doesn't get out. Polchis still has it. Held in at the line by the Rockets. Now Cook. Cook chips it into the Rocket zone. That whole line's going for a change. We're now at 15:15 of the first period. Just the one whistle off an icing call. Here's Roger. Roger pushes it ahead, misses the target, goes behind the Flames net. Daigle. Daigle chips up the left-hand side to Sommers. Sommers still with it. Battle along the boards. Daigle fishes it out. Rockets right in the slot there, unable to get the shot off. Puck towards the net. Fluttering around in there. Pulled out by Colpitz. Colpitz sends it back to Arsenault. Arsenault, shot attempt. That hits Eason. Makes its way back to the Rockets zone. Arsenault goes cross ice. Up to the neutral zone. No icing on this play. Here's Kimball. Kimball backhands it behind the net to her partner. It's kind of picked off. Contested behind the net. I believe that's Ward. Puck towards the net. Didn't make its way. Now here comes Dooland. Dooland up the right-hand side. Dooland tries to take a shot. Fans on it. Gets it back. Puck still ends up in the corner. Only one shot on net registered up on the scoreboard for the Flames. No shot registered yet for the Rockets. And we're going to have ourselves an icing call. A pretty long spread there with no whistle. And we're going to have a face-off. Back to the left of Fournette. 13:50, first period, no score. Shots on goal, 1-0 in favor of the Flames. Lawrenson to take the face-off for the Flames. Lineup note for the Flames is we see number 15 here, Gauvin, back in the lineup after serving a 4-game suspension for a check from behind. It felt like it was a pretty long time for her out, where the Flames had a weekend with only one game. That was the weekend that they played in Bouctouche against the Rockets. So covering 4 games took a couple weekends to clear, but now she's back. So Shea Waterhouse, the only player now still out of the lineup. Flames had been short several players due to injuries and the suspension, but everybody back but Waterhouse now, who, well, we're getting not too far away, and Waterhouse will be back. And we have a penalty call, a hold. And Daigle's going to go to the box for a hold, so the Rockets will have the first power play of the game. Here at the 12:58 mark of the first period, we're going to have a face-off to the right of Yeomans. Captain Folks in to take the face-off. And she's got Nelson working on the PK with her. Face-off one over to the side. And it's controlled by Poirier. Poirier throws it towards the net. Scramble in this crease. Can't see this puck. Everything's in there. Finally whistled down. Yeomans has it. 1:47 remains in the Daigle penalty, and we'll have a face-off to the right of Yeomans again. Linesman shuffling off the wingers. One down to the Flames' corner, but picked up by Alain. Alain behind the net. Sends it up along the wall, back to the point. Here's a shot by Poirier. Poirier, and there's a rebound. Rebound picked up. Tucked in the back of the net. I think it was Ward. We'll wait for the goal call. I didn't see who tucked it in. So, 3 shots on goal by the Rockets, and they now lead 1-0 at the 12:30 mark of the first period. Okay, we just got the penalty announcement, so we'll wait a second for the goal announcement and clarify exactly who that was. Okay, so it was Marissa Richard with the goal. Not Ward, as I had said. And we are at the 11:50 mark of the first period. Rockets leading 1-0. I'll get that scoreboard updated here at the whistle. Or now. There we go. Get that Rocket goal up there. Kimball fires it down into the Rocket zone. All the Flames going for a change. Cook puts pressure on it. Cook, she's pinned along the wall by Boutelier. Smith joins her. Rockets come out with it. Now Polchi's behind the net. Polchi centers it. Loose puck in the crease. Couple stabs at it. Ends up behind the net. Polchi's centers it again. Makes his way back to the point. Skips past Daigle. That's going to make his way into the Flame zone. Daigle's going to head behind her own net. Look for options. She sends up the left-hand side. Skips past everybody, including Bourgeois, and gets into the neutral zone. Bourgeois with it now. Sends it up the right-hand side for the Rockets. Back on the stick of Bourgeois. Bourgeois sends it up her right-hand side. Shot. Yeomans plays that one. Sends it up. Now we have it up the right side. Boursier, again back up the right side. Held in. Shot by Fitzpatrick. Now the Flames get it in the neutral zone. Nelson's going to put pressure on it. Almost the halfway mark here of the first period. My clock just a couple seconds behind the real game clock. Real game clock just hit the 10-minute mark. About 5 seconds behind what you see on the screen. Up the left side to Doolin. Doolin tries pushing it ahead. That's out of her reach. Danielle came in and took a shot. That hit high and wide. It ends up back in the stick of the Flames. Here comes Lawrence. Lawrence. She's going to chip it into the zone and go for a change. Whole set of new Flames coming out. Folks, Eason, Sommers. Rockets into the Flame zone. Richard tries throwing a puck towards net. Yeomans sends it off to the side. Another shot attempt. Yeomans deflects that one off into the corner. Shots on goal now showing 5-1 in favor of the Rockets. Icing signaled against the Flames. And we will have a face-off Coming back to the left of Yeomans in the Flame zone. 1-0 for the Rockets here at the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton. Game 1 of a 2-game set this weekend. Game 2 tomorrow at the in Bucktouche at the KC Irving Center. Face-off won by the Rockets. Shot from the point by Boulier. Sitting in front of the net, Folks is going to throw that down the ice. Rockets recover and regroup. Sommers stuck from behind, got that. Now Kimball behind the Flames zone. Held in at the line by Arsenault. Shot towards the net, that's blocked. I think that was Poirier right in the crease. Got a little bit of a rebound, threw a backhand at Yeomans, but puck's right back into the neutral zone. Here's Roger. Out of her reach. Flames get it back into the neutral zone. Now Bourgeois. Bourgeois dishes it off for a partner, but it's picked off by Cook. Cook, she's all by herself, centers the puck. Nobody's there. Johnstone shows up on the scene. Puck ends up behind the net. Pinch attempt by a Feltmate. Successful. Sent back down into the Rocket zone. Johnstone putting pressure on Fitzpatrick. Back on the stick of Johnstone. Bouncing puck here in traffic. Back to the point for Feltmate. Now it's set into the neutral zone. Boursier. Boursier sends it up the left-hand side. And we're going to have a Flames power play now. 7:36 of the first period. Shots on goal are 6-1 in favor of the Rockets. And Bourgeois is headed to the box. Flames power play coming up here. Face-off in the Rocket zone to the right of Fournette. Clock buzzed. We're going to have a brief delay before the puck drop. Question from the score clock. Lawrence in to take the face-off on the Flames power play. The two referees talking here now. I don't know if there was a question what the call was or what the signal was. All right, and we're now ready for our face-off. Face-off, kind of neutral, tied up. Comes back. Gauvin controls it. Gauvin back in action after a 4-game suspension. Tries sending it in the back door to Dooland. Dooland doesn't get the shot off. Daigle sends it deep. Backhanded by Cormier. Didn't get out of the zone. Lawrence battling for it. She's by herself. Finally pokes out back to Gauvin. She sends it across to Daigle, but it's just out of her reach. Daigle throws it into the corner. Dooland drops it off for Nelson. Nelson, backhand back to the point to Gauvin. Skips past her. 40 seconds now gone in the Rocket power play. Daigle picked it up. She tries going cross ice on the backhand. Doesn't get across. Roger will dump it back into the Flame zone, where Gauvin's going to pick it up. Gauvin loses an edge, goes down. Here come the Rockets. Daigle sends it up the right side to Dooland. Here comes Dooland through the neutral zone. Dooland dangles. She takes a shot. Played by Fournette. 36 seconds now left on the Flames power play. Trying to establish control here. Boursier pushes it up to Polchis. Polchis throws it cross ice. Now Cook has it. Cook. She's pinned. Folks is helping her. Finally gets it back to Kimball. Kimball stripped off the puck by Roger, she's going to burn a little bit of clock. Dishes it off to Colpitz. Colpitz throws it down below the goal line. 7 seconds left on the Flames power play. 5:40 left in the period. 1-0 for the Rockets. Shots on goal are 6-2 in favor of the Rockets. Fitzpatrick throws a cross-ice pass. That's picked up by Polchis. Polchis into the Rocket zone. She dishes one at the net. And that one's easily held onto by Fournette. And we are back to even strength at the 5:24 mark of the first period. 6-3, the shot's on goal in favor of the Rocket. Face off by Smith. Wrapped along the wall. Pinch attempt by Feltmate. It's held in. Eason there, digging for it. Puck bounces off the side of the net. Recovered by Plourde. Summers and Smith battling along on the wall against Bourgeois. Here come the Rockets. Danielle tries moving it to the center of the ice. Doesn't get there, but the Rockets recover. Smith chips up the left-hand side. Held in at the blue line. Finally into the neutral zone. That's going to be recovered by Cormier. Cormier now. Cormier's looking up ice. Tipped by Plourde. Boursier behind the Flames net. Reverses it. Nelson's there. Nelson stood up. Back onto the stick of Boursier. Boursier. She tries centering it, and that's going to go all the way. That one will be icing. And we are at the 4-minute mark of the first period. Rockets leading 1-0. Shots on goal 6-3 in favor of the Rockets. Face-off coming back to the left of Yeomans. McFadden in to take the face-off for the Rockets. She wins it clean. Shot from the point. Yeomans directs that off to the corner. Gauvin wraps it around the left-hand side. Gets past her partner, Boursier. Rockets keep it in. Now Sommers. Sommers knocks it free. Sommers in tight. Just misses wide left. Now Johnstone's following it up. Johnstone. She loses control. And here come the Rockets again. Alain. Now Nelson. Nelson tries clearing the zone. Arsenault keeps it in. Alain tries shoveling it into the zone. That's scooped back out. Shoveled into the Rocket zone. Pressure on Boulier. Recovered by Arsenault. Lawrence showed up on the scene just out of her reach. Now here comes Alain. Alain working by herself while the Rockets change. 2:50 now in the first period. And we have a hand pass. So we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. 7-4 now, the shots on goal. Nice break and rush by Sommers. Neutral zone face-off here. Won by the Flames. And that puck bounces out of play, and we'll do that over again. Won again by the Flames. Back to Feltmate. Feltmate over to Boursier. Boursier is going to chip that ahead. That one's going to be icing again. Well behind the blue line and a little too much heat on that. And that's going to come back for a face-off in the Flame zone at 2:37 remaining in the first period. And we'll have that same face-off matchup again. Folks in to take it. And now we have a penalty call. A head contact is the signal. Boursier is going to go for head contact. So the Rockets going back to the power play here at the 2:30 mark. of the first period. Rockets working with a 1-0 lead on 7 shots. Rockets hold it in the blue line. Clearing attempt by Feltmate. Puck bounced. Now battled at the blue line here. Finally recovered and slowed down by Daniel. Shot from the point. Back on the stick of Daniel. Daniel takes a shot. She misses wide left. Right beside the net. Yeomans tried to get a glove on it. Didn't. And that one's going to get cleared. 30 seconds gone in the Rocket power play. Fournette out to play it. She leaves it for Poirier. Poirier sends it up the right-hand side. Here's Ward. Ward reverses, slows down, gains control. Puck comes across to Daniel. Skip past her stick. Now Daniel again. Daniel dishes it off to Poirier. Gets it back. Back to Daniel again. Now Poirier. Poirier. Back to Daniel. Daniel, shot attempt. Blocker save by Yeomans. Rockets still in control here. 47 seconds left on the power play. Knocked loose. Cook. She chips it ahead. Cook by herself. Gets it deep. Johnstone heads to the bench. Cook keeps putting pressure on Poirier. Folks out now for the penalty kill. 1 minute left in the first period. 30 seconds left in the Rocket power play. And we have the play blown down. 54 seconds left in the period. 24 seconds left in the Rocket power play. Neutral zone face-off. Folks and McFadden face-off. McFadden wins it, but wins it hard enough back to her own zone. Now Boutelier behind the net. 45 seconds now left in the period. 12 seconds in the power play. Here comes Bourgeois. Bourgeois gains the zone, puts the brakes on, looks back to the point. Shot from the point by Boutelier. That one's easily gloved down by Yeomans. And there was 1 second left in the Boursier penalty, so off the face-off, she'll be heading out straight onto the ice. Face-off to the right of Yeomans, won by the Rockets. Here's Bourgeois. Bourgeois behind the net. Lawrence is on her. Peeled off the puck by Gauvin. Gauvin sends out the left side to Dooland. Dooland centers it. Here's Nelson. Nelson backhands it into the slot. Nobody's there. 10 seconds now left in the period. Even strength. Shots on goal. 11-4 in favor of the Rockets. Here comes McFadden. She misses high and wide. And that'll do it for the first period. Moncton Rockets up 1-0 after the first period. Shots on goal, 11-4 in favor of Moncton after 1. I will put you on mute. You can watch our sponsor reel. Thank you to all our sponsors. And I will rejoin you for the start of the second period. All right, we are back for the second period. Rockets leading 1-0 on a 12-4 shot differential in the first. Starting the period, even strength. Rockets on top of the league standings. First place ahead of the Subway Selects and Lindsay Surge, who aren't too far behind. Both the Selects and Surge have a couple games at hand. Rockets have played 17. Subway Selects have 2 games at hand at 15 games, and the Surge only 14 games played. Both the Surge and the Subway Selects, pretty significant plus-minus differentials. Subway Selects plus 66. And right behind them, the Lindsay Surge with a plus 57. Puck in the flame zone. Daigle, she's crunched along the boards. Folks in to help. Folks is pinned by Ward. Finally knocked loose. Back again behind the net. Here's Daigle. Daigle cuts to the middle. Daigle still with it. She's got Polchis on the left. Cook on the right. Now Ward behind the Rocket goal. Comes out the left side. Looks up ice. Centers it. It makes its way down. Daigle takes a slap at it. Boursier sends it up the right-hand side. That one's going to go for icing. And we'll have a face-off at the 18:38 mark of the second period. Back in the flame zone. Face-off's going to be to the right of Yeomans. Smith in to take the face-off. Puck's kind of tied up. Easton jumps in to try and grab it. Backhanded to the blue line. Doesn't get out. Held in by Boutelier. Now Daigle behind the net. Tries backhanding it forward and she gets it. She chips it up the glass. That one's going to go down the ice. Icing's waved off. Boutelier reverses behind her goal line. She looks far up the ice. Misses Rogier, the target. And now we're going to have icing against the Rockets. And that'll come back to the left of Fournette. 1-0 here at the Grant Harvey Center. Shots on goal are 12-4 in favor of the Rockets. Home and home this weekend. Tomorrow, 11... I don't know the exact time off the top of my head. I'll check it and confirm. Perhaps there was a missed call, a missed tip here. Face-off is being directed to center ice. So the icing call by the lines overruled, and now it's back at center. And we have McFadden winning the face-off. Back to Bourgeois. Bourgeois across to her partner. Into the flame zone. Lawrence is back. Rockets in the neutral zone. Bourgeois. Bourgeois sends it across. I believe Cormier is the other D over there, and it is. Can't call a name if I can't see the number or the name. That one misses wide. Nelson tries chipping it along the wall. That's held in by Cormier. Puck still deep in the flame zone here. Comes back to Bourgeois at the point. Bourgeois. She dishes it off to Alain. Back to Bourgeois. Bourgeois. She sends it into the slot. Pass attempt back to Bourgeois. Skips over her stick into the neutral zone. And Rockets regroup. They dump it in. Kimball's going to retrieve it. Kimball comes up the right side to Nelson. Nelson up the right-hand boards. Lawrence gets a stick on it, but it's going to be McDonald. I think that was McDonald. Pass. That skips past the target. Down below the goal line in the Flame zone. 16:38 here in the first period. Second period, sorry. Centering pass attempt. No, nothing on it. Johnstone chips it up the right side to Nelson. Nelson backhands it. No icing on the call. Polchis goes to put pressure on it. Johnstone heads to the bench. No, sorry, that was Nelson headed to the bench. Now we have icing against the Rockets. And we'll have the face-off back in the Rocket zone. Off to the right of Fournette. Johnstone in to take it for the Flames. She wins it over to the side. Back to the point. Shot attempt by Daigle. That one misses high and wide right. Recovered by Gauvin. She tries backhand in along the boards. Now Johnstone sends it down low below the goal line. Polchis is going to go put pressure on it. Johnstone trying to fish it out with Cook. Cook has it pinned. Johnstone trying to dig it out. Comes out the other side. Now Cook still with it. Here comes Cook. Cook gets out of the corner with it. She dishes it off to Johnstone. Johnstone backhands it to the point to Daigle. Daigle's going to try and shoot. That's blocked. Here's Ward. Ward reverses. She's taken down by Cook. That's going to be an unfortunate trip on Cook. And the Rockets are going to go to the power play unless they score with the empty net here on the delayed penalty, and they won't. So, 15-17, second period. Shots on goal, 12-4 in favor of the Rockets. And Cook is headed to the box for a trip. Penalty killers are going to be Feltmate, Lawrence, Boursier, and Folks. Face off to the right of Yeomans. McFadden takes it for the Rockets. Won by Folks. Lawrence tries getting it out. Doesn't. Pinned on the wall. Held in. Alain. She sends it back to the point. McFadden comes cross ice to Boutelier. Boutelier walks into the middle. Dishes it off. Held in and getting the line by Boutelier. Boutelier goes across. Centering pass attempt. Yeomans gets a great pad out. Keeps that one away. Here's McFadden. McFadden dishes it down below the goal line. Wrapped around the boards. It's going to be held in by Boutelier again. Boutelier. She fires. Hit something along the way and ended up in the corner. McFadden working behind the net. Dishes it off. Comes back to Boutelier again. Boutelier. Back across. To Boutelier at the top. Across to McFadden. McFadden tries looking in the slot. Pass is missed. Back to Boutelier again. 47 seconds left on the power play. McFadden tries the same pass again. This one's broken up. Lawrence is going to get that one down the ice. 38 seconds left in the Cook tripping penalty. Boutelier sets up behind the Rocket net. Boutelier up the right-hand side. Here's Poirier. Poirier gains the blue line. She curls back, gains some time. Dishes it off. Johnstone now your penalty killer with Polchis. Johnstone putting pressure on. Bounces off to the side. Recovered by Daniel. She throws it below the goal line. Back to Daniel. Daniel, cross ice to Ward. Ward throws it towards the net. Backhanded. Out of danger, and we are back to even strength. Rocket still with it, in tight. Shot, 2 shot attempts. Loose puck in the crease. It's still loose. Here's Johnstone. She dishes it off to Daigle. Daigle, she's taken down hard. Arm is up. That might be head contact. And indeed it is. So the Flames kill off that Rocket power play. A lot of pressure by the Rockets there. Good control, quite a few dangerous shots. And now the Flames, a power play chance. 4 minutes for that head contact in the neutral zone on Daigle. She was taken down fairly hard. Face-off won by the Flames. Loose puck in the slot. Fournette's going to cover that one up. 10 seconds gone in the 4-minute power play. Shots on goal are 16-5 now in favor of the Rockets. 1-0 the score. Home and home series this weekend. Flames going to Bucktouche tomorrow morning to play the Rockets again at the Casey Irving Center. Flames. Daigle has it at the point. Gives it off to Lawrence. Lawrence, good shot. Smith was in front screen. She gets a little bit of a cross check in the back. So it's Poirier what got the 4 minutes. Lawrence in to take the face-off for the Flames. She wins it. Cuts back to Daigle. Daigle sends it along the wall for Lawrence. Lawrence down below the goal line. Centering puck. Lawrence takes a stab at it. Still loose. And the Rockets are going to clear that one. Scramble puck there in the crease. 1 minute gone in the 4-minute head contact penalty. Here comes Daigle through the neutral zone. Daigle gains his own. She's going to slow it down. Dishes it off. Makes its way to the neutral zone. Now Lawrence recovers it. Lawrence and Nelson battling along the boards. Ends up behind the net. Bourgeois with it now. Bourgeois. She had a clear path. She's sending that one all the way down. 2:30 now left in the Flames power play. Left behind the net for Boursier. Boursier comes up the right-hand side. Centering pass for Polchis. That misses the target, and the Flames have iced it on the power play. .2:15 remains in the Flames power play. 11:09 in the second period. Rockets are leading 1-0. Shots on goal are 16-7 in favor of the Rockets. Alain is going to be in to take the face-off against Fultz. To the right of Yeomans. Slapped along the boards. And the Flames will gain control. Boursier sets up behind the net. She's got Fultz on the left. Comes up the right to Gauvin. Gauvin finally back in the lineup after missing 4 games on a hit from behind suspension. Leaving only Waterhouse out of the lineup for the Flames, who have played short quite a few games in a row. We've seen some affiliates come in. Last weekend, 3 affiliates in the lineup, all making a pretty good impact. Fox, Lajoie, both scoring. Man on defense stepped in. She had a good scoring opportunity when she jumped out of the penalty box against the Surge. Here's Feltmate. She sends it behind the net for Daigle. Daigle sends it up the left side. Lawrence chips up the left side to Dooland. Here comes Dooland, one-on-one. Dooland. She's knocked off the puck. It's going to be held in. 1:29 left in the Flames power play. Puck still loose. Feltmate chips it off to the right-hand side, but it's going to be recovered by Richard. Richard's going to throw that all the way down. Yeomans leaves it. Daigle picks it up. Daigle. Daigle again. Daigle goes behind the net to look for time. Dishes it off to the left-hand side to Lawrence. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence through the neutral zone. We're at the halfway mark of the second period. Lawrence tries his shot on net. That's tipped. 49 seconds remaining in the 4-minute Flames power play. One scramble chance, but otherwise not a whole lot to speak of here. Now, puck up through the neutral zone. Here's Nelson. Nelson She dishes it off for Lawrence. Picked off by Daniel. Here comes Daniel. Daniel tried pulling it back, but she's knocked off the puck. Lawrence 1-on-2 in the corner. Feltmate comes in to help her. 15 seconds now left on the Flames power play. And that's going to do it for the Flames power play. We're back to even strength. Puck centered. Now Cormier backs up, sends it into the neutral zone. Comes cross ice to Rogier. Rogier. She's pressured by Summers, turns it over. Now Nelson again. Nelson, she sends it high on the glass. That one almost went out of play, but stays in. 8:30 mark of the second period. Rockets leading 1-0. Shots on goal are 16-7 now in favor of the Rockets. Here's Summers. Summers going for a little bit of a skate, drops it off to Kimball. Kimball throws it into the corner. Recovered by the Rockets. Pressure by Smith. Rockets still with it. Boutelier sends it up the right-hand side, or left-hand side. Here comes Cormier. She dishes it off to Fournette. Fournette throws it at the net. Yeomans will hang on to that. And we are at the 8-minute even mark of the second period. Still 1-0 for the Rockets. Face off in the Flame zone. It's going to be to the left of Yeomans. Johnstone's going to be in to take it against Colpitts. Colpitts, Johnstone. I'd say that's a neutral face-off, but ends up back on the stick of the Rockets. In the corner. Here's Feltmate up the right-hand side. Held into the blue line by the Rockets. Sent up the left wing to Polchis. That's intercepted. Here's Alain. Alain. She takes a shot in tight. Yeomans will hang on to that one too. And we'll have that same face-off off to the left of Yeomans. Looks like it'll be Johnstone and Colpitts again. 18-7 shots in favor of the Rockets. Face-off won by Johnstone this time. Back to Daigle. Daigle sends it around the left-hand side. Polchis isn't quite there. Held in the blue line by the Rockets. Colpitts. Poirier. Finally into the neutral zone by Polchis. But she's outflanked 4-1. Here's Johnstone. Johnstone sends it below the goal line. Puts pressure on it. Johnstone still behind the net. Arm up. Flames are going back to the power play, I think. We have another head contact. Oh no. It is Dooland. Dooland with the head contact. I didn't see that one. So, now the Rockets. 2-minute power play at the 7:06 mark of the second period. Working with a 1-0 lead. Lawrence will take the face off. She's going to go in against Richard. Face off. Kind of contested, but ends up back on the stick of the Rockets. Shot attempt. That misses wide left. Wraps around the boards. Held in by Poirier. Poirier goes cross ice. Here's a shot by Poirier. Bobbled in front. Didn't make his way to Yeomans. Sent off to the corner. Puck along the boards. Here's Folks. Nope. That one's sent down. 30 seconds gone now. In the Rocket power play. 6:26 left in the second period. Rockets working with a 1-0 lead here at the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton. First game of a 2-game set. Second game tomorrow in Bucktouche at the Casey Irving Center. Also available on High Button Sports. Puck off to the corner. Gauvin. Gauvin backhands up the right-hand side to Lawrence. And Lawrence gets that one all the way down. Flames penalty killers are going to head to the bench And we have Johnstone Cook working with Daigle and Feltmate now, killing the penalty. 42 seconds now left in the Rocket power play. Cook got a stick on that one, but Alain still with it. Alain, she drops it off for McFadden. Back to Alain. Alain cuts back over to McFadden. McFadden dishes it off at the line for Boulier. Cross ice to McFadden. McFadden's walking in. Blocker saved by Yeomans. Nice save. I think that's Bourgeois over there. Feeds it over to McFadden. Broken up by Cook. Didn't clear the zone. 5 seconds now left in the Rocket power play. Centering attempt. Makes its way through. Nobody gets a stick on it. And we are back to even strength. Doolin jumps back into the play. That shot misses high and wide. Less than 5 minutes now in the second period. McFadden, shot attempt. Makes his way over to the boards. Johnstone's there. Rockets still have it. Puck below the goal line. Feltmate. Feltmate tried sending it up the wall. She doesn't get it very far. Still there in the corner. Johnstone's trying to help her. Puck's pinned. Refs are going to let it move. Finally makes its way back to the point. Here's Bourgeois. Bourgeois. Shot's blocked. Finally makes its way into the neutral zone. 4:20 now in the second period. Puck's dumped back below the goal line in the Flame zone. Daigle. These Flames probably looking for a line change as soon as possible. They'll take a whistle if they can get it, and they get one. 4:07 left in the second period. 20-7 the shots in favor of the Rockets. 1-0 the score, also in their favor. Yeomans pretty busy. Keeping the Flames hanging around. Face off to the left of Yeomans. Colpitz wins it. Shot that doesn't make its way through. Hit a body along the way. Now Boursier has it. She's coming up the right-hand side. Clearing attempt. Doesn't make it out. Now Kimball. Kimball. She's pinned along the wall behind their goal line. Knocked free. Here's Sommers. Sommers reverses it for Boursier. Boursier wraps it around the wall. Now Eason. Eason, she's going to chip it into the neutral zone, but the Rockets are going to recover it here. 3:37. Second period. Rockets through the neutral zone. Pass misses its target. Boursier recovers it. Boursier. She's pinned along the wall. Now Eason. Eason tries clearing it. Doesn't. Smith almost got it out, but not quite. Flames still trying to get out of the zone here. Boursier. Centering pass. Does make its way past Smith, but into the neutral zone. Here come the Rockets again. Boursier got to the blue line. Peeled off the puck. Here's Poirier. Poirier centers it. Shot attempt. That misses wide left. Puck below the goal line. Kimball went into the net, or into the wall there hard. Poirier, another shot attempt. Misses wide left. She gets back up and rejoins the play. Cormier over along the wall to Ward. Ward back to Cormier. Cormier comes cross ice to Poirier. Poirier tries centering it. Smith tried clearing that one. Doesn't. Flames trying to get a clearing attempt here, and that one was just ripped top shelf off on the side. I believe it was Daniel. Flames got trapped in their zone for an extended period of time there, and the Rockets capitalize. Move to a 2-0 lead here with 2:06 left in the second period. Face off, won by the Flames. Here comes Daigle. Daigle carries it below the goal line to the corner, drops it off to Cook. Here come the Rockets. Fournette. Sorry, not Fournette. McFadden. Rockets are going to the power play. Arm up. Shot on goal there. Yeomans will hang on to that one. And the Rockets are going back to the power play. I think holding was the signal. I couldn't quite see. Referee's back to me. But it looks like it's a hold against the Captain Folks. Face off to the lefty Yeomans. Won by the Flames. Daigle slaps it up the wall. That's going to make its way down. Dooland and Lawrence are penalty killers. Puck carried to the neutral zone by Ward. Ward gains the blue line. Ward still with it. She cuts back. Sends it cross ice. Shot. That misses high. Now Poirier down in the corner to Ward. Ward centering pass attempt. Broken up. That one sent down the ice by Dooland. Lawrence going to put pressure on it. Last minute of play of the second period. 1:20 left in the Rocket power play. Lawrence putting pressure behind the Rocket net. Burns a few seconds. Finally makes his way into the neutral zone. Dooland right on it. Now Ward. Daigle sends it down. 1 minute killed of the Flames penalty kill. Here's Alain. Alain by herself, tied up by Polchis. 25 now left in the period. Here's Alain. Alain looking to reorganize. Puck's held into the blue line there by Bourgeois. Bourgeois finally gets past her. Nelson just out of her reach. Recovered by Boutelier. 8 seconds now left. Boutelier gains the Flame zone. Boutelier cuts into the middle, takes a shot. Yeomans deflects that off to the side. And that's going to do it for the period. So after 2 periods, Rockets lead 2-0. Shots on goal are 23-7 in favor of the Rockets. And they will have 24 seconds of power play left when we resume at the third period. At which point, I will rejoin you. All right, everyone, welcome back to the third period. Rockets leading 2-0. The door's wide open over there. Okay, linesman going to get that. Rockets starting the third period with a 24-second power play. Folks in the box. Face off by Polchis. Somebody blew a stick there. That was Cook. That happened to me last week. That was a $300 face off for the Cooks. And Folks back on the ice, back to even strength. Just a few seconds gone here in the third period. Rockets leading 2-0. Shots on goal 23-7 in favor of the Rockets. Here come the Rockets. Feltmate tries to play it just out of her reach. Back behind the net now, Daigle. Daigle sends up the left-hand side. Centering pass attempt by Dooland is sent back into the zone. Rockets are changing. 1 minute gone here in the third period. Up the right-hand side to Smith. Smith tries to tip it. Arsenault keeps it in, but now it ends up back in the neutral zone. Here's Boutelier. Boutelier dishes it off to Colpitz. Back in the neutral zone again. Here's Rogier. Now Dooland. Dooland tries throwing it at the net. Puck's chipped over into the corner. Now the Rockets. Colpitz sends it into the flame zone. Goes to get it herself. She's pinned by Lawrence. Puck in the corner. Cormier, Colpitz down there. Cormier comes out with it. Shot from the point. It's blocked by Colpitz. Shot never made it through. Puck deep in the flame zone. Into the neutral zone. It's chipped. Recovered by the Rockets. Here we go in the neutral zone. Here's McFadden. McFadden by herself. Looking for a sharp angle shot. Doesn't get it off. Back to the point. Here's Bourgeois. Bourgeois. That one makes its way through. Yeomans just sends that off to the corner. Now Johnstone. Johnstone's pinned along the wall. Tried to get it out. Another shot attempt. That one by Alain. Yeomans throws that one into the corner. Now McFadden. McFadden tries throwing it. She misses just left. McFadden tries cutting to the middle. Now Alain gets back to the point. Here's Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick throws it at the net. Loose puck. Ends up back behind the goal line. 26-7 now. The shot's in favor for the Rockets. Bourgeois. She fires it. Yeomans will hang on to that one. And we'll have a face-off in the flame zone. 27-7, the shots in favor of the Rockets. 16:54 mark of the third period. Rockets leading 2-0 here at the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton. Game 2 of the home and home tomorrow at the Casey Irving Center in Bouctouche on High Button Sports. Here come the Rockets, 2-on-1. That one's broken up. We're at 16:34 now of the third period. Face off to the left of Yeomans. Smith in to take it. Face off won by the Flames, but the Rockets recover it. Centering pass attempt, shot. That doesn't get through. Puck in the neutral zone. Here comes Plord. Plord takes a shot. She misses wide right. Wraps around the wall. Recovered at the blue line by Poirier. Poirier keeps it in again. Poirier Poirier dishes off to Colpitts. Yeomans will hang on to that one. And the Rockets just keep coming here. 28-7 the shots on goal now in favor of the Rockets. 16:04 of the third period. Face-off to the right of Yeomans. Captain Folks in to take the face-off for the Flames. Won by the Rockets, but one too hard. Centerman's nightmare. You win a face-off and it ends up back in your own zone, or even worse, a breakaway or something the other way. I am a centerman, and as a centerman, it drives me nuts. You win a face-off, lose control, or ends up back in your own net. Here we go. Here comes Dooland. Dooland by herself. She's got some moves. And she scores. Dooland makes it 2-1. She was kind of tied up, but got just enough of it to tuck it past Fournette. And the Flames, despite being outshot 28-8, are in this game now, 2-1, with 15:28 to play. Folks wins the face-off back to Boursier. Boursier tries sending it up the wall, doesn't get it out. Here comes McFarlane. Sorry, McFadden. Nelson gets the assist on the Dooland goal. And we have ourselves an icing against the Flames. So, face off. Once again, back in the Flame zone. This one's going to be to the right of Yeomans. Folks in to take the face off against Ward. Try that again. One over to the side. Gauvin gets it, wraps it around the wall. Gauvin in her first action after a few games. Arms up, penalty call. And another head contact. I didn't see that one. So Sommers headed to the box for a head contact. So we will have a face-off in the Flame zone. Rockets on the power play. Head contact. Johnstone in to the face-off for the Flames. Won by the Rockets. Alain at the point. She dishes it off to Poirier. Over to the side. Who is that? Daniel. Daniel dives. Nice dive attempt by Daniel. That one's out of play. And that'll be a face-off in the Flame zone. .140 left in the Rocket power play. 14:32 of the third period. Flames trailing 2-1. Lawrence takes the face-off for the Flames. One back to Daniel. Daniel comes cross ice. Back to Daniel. Daniel. Back to Daniel again. Who's she playing tag with here? Daniel. That's Poirier that she's playing tag with at the blue line. Back to Daniel. Daniel tries cutting in. Sends it back to the blue line. Ward. Rockets maintain control. Loose puck in the slot. Couple stabs at it. Makes his way off to the wall. Here's Ward. Oh, sorry. Poirier. Cut in. Shot attempt. That's blocked. Off to the corner. 45 seconds now left in the Rocket power play. 13:33 of the third period. Rockets leading 2-1 on 28 shots. to 8. Johnstone and Cook are your penalty killers. Cook now using a backup stick after blowing up her stick at the start of the third period here. Puck held in the corner. 2 Rockets on it. Fished out. Johnstone comes out with it. She dishes it behind the net. Kimball couldn't quite get there. Rajay gets it back to the point. And we're back to even strength. Flames kill that one off. Here's Cormier. Cormier in the corner. Cormier sends it back to the blue line. Boulier throws it towards the net. Doesn't. And Yeomans will hang on to that one. So we're back to even strength. Shots on goal, 29 to 8 now. Only 1 shot on goal registered on that power play for the Rockets. Face off to the left of Yeomans. One off to the side. Daigle tries kicking it ahead. It's tied up. Makes its way to the blue line. Comes across ice here to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick throws it at Yeomans. Yeomans will hang on to that one. And only a couple seconds tick off the clock. Flames doing what they do, hanging around. One back to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick moves along the wall. Back to Fitzpatrick. Shot by Fitzpatrick. Yeomans, I don't know how anybody saw anything there. Giant pile in front of the net. Puck's coming out. Bunch of players still just making their way out of the Flames zone. No penalties or anything back there. Big pile in front of Yeomans. Puck down below the Rocket goal. Moved out to the blue line, held in by Daigle. Now McFadden. Here comes McFadden. Through the neutral zone, McFadden. She's knocked off the puck by Polchis. Polchis gets it over to Lawrence. Lawrence loses an edge, goes down. Here's Daniel. Daniel slows things down. Stops on the side. Daniel looking for her space. Net's off. So we have a whistle. 11:38 now remaining in the third period. Shots on goal 31 to 8 in favor of the Rockets. Yeomans doing a little pad adjustment here. Face off coming to the right of Yeomans. It'll be McFadden against Captain Folks of the Flames. Folks and McFadden. Folks wins it back to Feltmate. Feltmate sends it behind the net for Boursier. Boursier sends it up the left side. Partially mishandled, but finally grabbed by the Flames and sent down the ice. No icing on the play. Cook puts pressure on it. Now Folks is in on the situation. And we have a penalty. Flames headed to the power play at the 11:19 mark. I didn't see the signal. So, 11:19. Third period. Face off in the Rocket zone. Flames on the power play. Won by the Flames. Back to Daigle. Daigle. She throws it towards the net. It's blocked. That one's going to be sent down the ice. Yeomans comes up to slow it down. She elects to just leave it for Gauvin. Gauvin goes across to Daigle. Here comes Daigle. Daigle's looking up ice. She pushes it ahead, but that's going to be broken up and sent back down. 30 seconds now gone in the Flames power play. Gauvin behind the net. She's pinched off. And another penalty coming to the Rockets. I'm guessing possibly there was a trip there on the situation. You might want to give it to them at this point and get on the two-man advantage. Daigle tries carrying it in. And we are going to have 1 minute 19 seconds of 5-on-3. In a 2-1 game here with 10:38 left in the third period. This is about as good a situation as you could draw up for the Flames. So we have Lawrence, Nelson, Dooland, Gauvin, Daigle on a two-player advantage. And the Rockets win it and get it down the ice. That's going to burn the first few seconds of this. Daggle's going to recover it. Here comes Daggle. Daggle sends it up through the middle, mishandled by Dooland. Back on the stick of Lawrence. Here's Lawrence in the neutral zone. Lawrence looking to move. She gets pinched off. Sends it back to Gauvin. Gauvin sends it across to Nelson. Nelson back across to Lawrence. 50 seconds now left in the two-player advantage. Pass misses Dooland. Gets past her. It's going to be attempted to wrap around the boards. I think Gauvin's going to keep that in. No. It's get past Gauvin. Now we have a race. Daggle. Poirier. Daggle. Daggle knocks Poirier off the puck. Poirier still with it, though. 30 seconds left in the two-player advantage now. 9:46 left in the period. Dooland tries carrying it in. She gets it in tight on the goalie. Fournette will hang on to that. 18 seconds left in the two-player advantage. 9:37 left in the period. 31-10, the shots in favor for the Rockets. And we'll have a face-off to the right of Fournette. Folks is going to come take the face-off. Kimball and Boursier on the blue line. Comes across to Kimball. Kimball dishes it off to Polchis. Shot on net. It's high. Fumbled. Tip attempt in front. Coming back to the point. Held in by Kimball. Boursier also holds it in. Boursier tries moving it towards the net. Loose puck. Now Cook. Cook dishes it off to Folks. Folks gives it back to Kimball. Kimball comes across to Boursier. Boursier dishes it off to the corner to Polchis. Polchis off the side of the net. Takes a sharp angle shot. Loose puck in front and she scores! Tie game! So, the first penalty had expired. So that is a power play goal 5-on-4. So we'll move back to 5-on-5. Flames unable to capitalize on the 5-on-3, but capitalize on the 5-on-4. Polchis sharp angle shot. I don't know if that's going to be hers. It might be Folks. We'll wait for the announcement, but I believe Folks is the one who put that in. So at 9:01, of the third period, the Flames have tied it up. If there's one thing the Flames have done well so far this season is hang around, particularly with some of these top 2 or 3 teams. Give themselves a chance to get a point or two. They don't roll over. So we have a 2-2 game here with 8:36 left. In the third period, we're now back to even strength. The shots on goal are now 31-12 in favor of the Rockets, but 2-2 game nonetheless. Daggle, below the Flames goal line, centers it. It's picked up. Shot. That one hit the post. Yeomans tried to glove it. Heard a little ting there. Up the right-hand side, here comes Lawrence. Lawrence gets into the neutral zone. Lawrence still with it. Lawrence, she sends it into the corner. And now the Rockets come back. Rockets looking for a long stretch pass. That's going to be icing. So the Rockets, of course, won't be able to change. No change icing. .751. Oh, the referee's converging here. I wonder if there's any contesting of whether this was icing or not. I don't think there is. No, referee points down. Is indeed icing. So, Johnstone in to take the face-off against Ward in the Rocket zone. Johnstone wins it back to the point. Comes across to Kimball. Kimball, shot through traffic. Doesn't make its way through. Hits the shin pads of, I think that was Folks. No, it was Eason. Johnstone, Eason, Sommers. Sommers in the neutral, right in the slot there. Tries pulling it through. She's knocked off the puck. Johnstone in the corner working with Boursier. Rockets recover it. Shot from the point. Yeomans will hang on to that one. Kimball quickly in on the defender. Pushes that off. Flames will change. Face off to the right of Yeomans. It'll be Smith. Puck's contested here. Arm up. I think we're going to have a cross check. Oh, roughing. Okay. Right off the face-off, there was a cross check on the Flames player. And the Flames going back to the power play here at the 7:14 mark of the third period. 2-2 game. 32-12, the shots in favor of the Rockets. Flames on the power play. Face off to the left of Fournette. Lawrence in to take it. She wins it back to Doolin. Doolin walks in and takes a shot. That one's gloved up by Fournette. Lawrence facing off against Richard. Lawrence wins it again to Doolin. Doolin comes to the point this time to go to Daigle. Daigle fires it, but she misses. Puck held him at the line by Daigle. Daigle shoots again. Loose puck. Ends up along the wall. Now Lawrence. Lawrence sends it back to Daigle again. Daigle back to Lawrence. Lawrence tried cutting in. She's knocked off the puck. Still contested here. High in the zone. And the Rockets get there. .40 seconds gone in the Flames power play. Here comes Doolin. Doolin tries walking through. She's pinched off. 6:30 mark of the third period. Tie game 2-2. Rockets get it all the way down the ice. Yeomans plays it. Daigle's going to pick it up. Daigle up the left side. Here comes Daigle. Dishes it off to Doolin. Doolin's headed to the bench. New penalty or power play unit coming out. Recovered behind the net by Cormier. Here comes Cormier. She's going to fire that one down. Gauvin is going to pick it up for the Flames. Gauvin. She's pressured. She's knocked off the puck. Here's Cormier. Cormier throws it down for Ward. Ward. She's pinched by Gauvin. Puck comes out. 25 seconds left on the Flames power play. Boursier has to put the brakes on the neutral zone. Boursier, she's going to dish it off to Kimball. Kimball looks across ice for Polcheese. Gets past her. No icing. 10 seconds now left in the Flames power play. 5:22 left in the period. Rockets get it down again. Yeomans goes out to play it. Skips past her stick. Flames send it down. No icing. Fournette has to play that one. And she'll cover it up. But we're back to even strength at the 5:07 mark of the third period in a 2-2 game. Here at the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton. Game one of a two-game set against the league-leading Rockets, sitting in first on top of the league. Just ahead of the Subway Selects and the Lindsay Surge. Rockets do have a couple games at hand on both of those teams, and both the Subway Selects and the Lindsay Surge have pretty significant plus-minus differentials. Somebody down on the ice, no glove, slow to get up. That's Somers. Feltmate moves it into the neutral zone, turned back over. Somers made her way to the bench. McFadden throws it below the goal line in the Flame zone. Feltmate has it. Feltmate sends it up the right-hand side. Held in at the line by Poirier. Poirier in the corner. She cuts back. Poirier reverses again, sends it below the goal line. Centering attempt. Smith gets a stick on it. Sends it up the left side. Doolan's going to get there first. Dooland. Here's Dooland. She's just going to rip that into the Rocket zone and head for a line change. Nelson puts pressure on it, and Johnstone follows her up. Johnstone can't turn it over, but now the puck's back the other way. Here's Nelson. Nelson, she's knocked off the puck. Johnstone was headed to the net. Backing up is Gauvin and Boursier. 3:28 left in the third period. Tie game here. That's a quick whistle. Oh, is the net off? Or was that just a quick whistle? Nope, net's not off. Yeah, it was just a quick whistle. 3:22. Face-off won by the Flames to Boursier. Boursier wraps it around behind the net to Gauvin. Gauvin up the right-hand side to Cook. Skips past her, but makes his way into the neutral zone. Back into the Flame zone. Here's Alain. Alain in the corner. She's peeled off the puck by Folks. Folks sends it up the left-hand side. Chips past everybody into the neutral zone. Arsenault. Arsenault fires it up to Rogier. Rogier. She's knocked off the puck and Cook gets it. Now right back on the stick of Cormier. Cormier pushes it ahead. Daigle takes a swipe at it. She doesn't get it out. 2:46 left in the game here. 33-15. The shots now in favor of the Rockets. Flames leveled up the shots a little bit during a couple power plays. Here's Dooland. Dooland all alone. She's cutting into the middle. Takes a shot. That one's gloved by Fournette. And we'll have a face-off in the Rocket zone with 2:29 left to go in the game here. A win would be huge, but just like last weekend against the Surge, get to overtime, get that point for sure. Would be a pretty big deal for the Flames here against the league-leading Rockets. Face-off coming to the left of Fournette. It'll be Lawrence against Ward. Referee over at the bench discussing I'm not sure what. And we're ready to go. Won by Lawrence. Back to Gauvin. Gauvin just chips it in back into the corner. Lawrence is there. Smith jumps up. Back to the point. Here's Daigle. Daigle, shot. Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second there. A little tickle in my throat. Coughing. 2:17 now. Flames on the power play here for 1:48. Face-off won by the Rockets this time. They'll send it down the ice. My scoreboard clock just slightly ahead of the actual game clock. Game clock is 2:08. I'm at 1:50. I'll reset that as soon as I get a chance and match that up. Puck in the neutral zone. Alain with it. Alain trying to burn some time. Dishes it off. Flames with the power play here with 1:22 on the power play. 1:48 left on the game clock. Daigle's going to settle things down. Daigle. Here she comes. Daigle looking at her options. Elects to keep it. Daigle gains his own. Dishes it off to Lawrence. Deemed offside, so I'll fix that clock here now. Back to 1:37. 1:37 in the game, 1:08 on the Flames power play. Folks, Cook, and Polchis with Feltmate and Boursier on the power play here for the Flames. Polchis now in the neutral zone. Polchis with a little bit of space. Gets past Colpitz. Polchis gets it in close. Fournette will have to hang on to that one. 53 seconds now left in the Flames power play. 1:22 left in the game. 3-on-3 overtime if needed. Flames got to that last weekend against the Surge. Shot kind of surprising the Surge, and with a fairly good comeback win in the second game of a 2-game set. For Hartnell scored in the overtime. Real nice goal. Hartnell, definitely a really strong player. Especially in the 3-on-3 situation, had lots of pretty strong cut to the net and a tough shot. But Flames got a point out of it. 15 seconds left on the Flames power play. 40 left on the game clock. Rockets get that one down. Gauvin's going to pick it up behind the Flames net. 34 now on the game clock. Stretch pass. Makes his way through the neutral zone to Doolin. Doolin dangles through a couple of Rockets here. Takes a shot. Doesn't make it through. Back to the blue line. Here's Daigle. Daigle throws it. That one's just going to end up behind the goal line. 15 seconds now left on the clock. Even strength. Here's Daigle again. Daigle fires it. That misses way wide. 9 now left on the game clock. Nelson chips it down below the net. Centering pass attempt. Rockets pick it up. They send it down. That's going to do it. And we're going to head to overtime. So, big comeback here by the Flames. Stellar performance again by Yeomans. 33 saves. And the Flames will push this one to overtime. Let's get our clock updated here. We will go to 5 minutes on the clock. There we go. Okay. 5 minutes of overtime here on the clock. Teams get a couple seconds. Shots on goal are 33-18 in favor of the Rockets. But the Flames forced overtime here. So definitely good on the Flames to get out of here with a point for sure. Game 2 tomorrow at the KC Irving Center in Bugtouche. We are going to have Lawrence, Daigle, and Dooland for the Flames. McFadden, Plord, and Daniel for the Rockets. Here's Dooland. Dooland. She reverses. Half takes out the referee. Now the Rockets are coming. Doolan still 40 feet out of the play. Daniel tries cutting to the net. She's knocked off the puck by Daigle. Doolan recovers, gets back in the play. Daniel sends it across ice. McFadden doesn't get it, but Rockets still with the puck. Rockets move it back into the neutral zone. Here's Plord. Plord pushes it ahead. That one's recovered by Daigle. 45 seconds gone here in overtime. I didn't start my clock, so I'm a little off here. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence dishes it off to Dooland. Dooland tips it towards the net. Flames making a change. We have Folks, Gauvin, and Pulches now for the Flames. Here's Ward for the Rockets. Ward, Cormier, and Boutelier for the Rockets. Here's Ward. Ward dishes it off for Cormier. Cormier hanging around in the neutral zone. She gets past Pulches, cuts in tight, but she misses high. No shots on goal registered yet here in the overtime. 3:28 left in overtime. Ward at the blue line. Ward still with it. She's pressured by Folks. Retreats to the neutral zone. Ward in the neutral zone. Looking at her options. Still with it. Goes to Boulier. Boulier cuts in again. Shot. She misses wide left. Flames, I think, looking to make a change here. As we hit the 3-minute even mark. Shot right in tight. And the Rockets score in overtime. Boulier all alone in front of the net. Tucks it in. And the Rockets win 3-2 in overtime. Final shots on goal, 35-19 in favor of the Rockets. Flames converging around Yeomans. Heck of a game by Yeomans. Definitely good on the Flames to get out of this with a point against the league-leading Rockets. I'm sure it hurts to have lost in overtime. Would have been nice to have held on for the tie or popped an overtime winner, but all right. Join High Button Sports tomorrow at the Casey Irving Center in Bouctouche for a rematch of these two teams. And I will see you again next time